and we should be underway any second now. Any names you recognise? Oh no, you'll recognise most of the names on some of the names.
Yeah, the only one I don't recognize would be Alpi, I think.
Alpi is one of the top players in the league right now, so he's a real good player. Has done very well for the last few seasons. These colours, they look nice, but they're very difficult to see on the ice. For Los Pollas Hermanas.
Oh yeah, brown and orange. Are they differentiable?
It's orange. Yeah, so Bunions kits are brown and orange. So I'm gonna have to tell them to change because there's not enough contrast there. Because Los Pollas Hermanas, their home kit is yellow, which means they're playing. Even though they're the home team, they're playing in their away kit, which is a really nice, sort of pale blue, slightly green, pale blue. But unfortunately, that is a colour that doesn't show up very well on the ice. Here's Alpi launching an early shot. The for those confused why it took so long for us to start this game, doing the club color, trying to set colours with the colour mod at the minute is really annoying because the command to choose the colours as Alpi works his way around the net and buries one.
Great solo goal there. Didn't need any help.
Yeah, Rapid was just trying to get out of the way. Right now, obviously, the lobbies, as many people in EU Slapshot complain, the lobbies are the way round they do it in America, where it's away at home. So the first team is the away team, and the second team is the home team, which is how they do it in America. And I watch a lot of American sports, so I'm not really too fussed about it. What is annoying is that the command to set team colours is the European way round. So if you want to, for this game, I set the command was clubs set GUS BHC, which is really annoying because it's the opposite way around to how it is everywhere else. But you got to do what you got to do. I have said about it, so hopefully it'll be fixed at some point. Strig there plays it into the middle, bounced away, and Alpi will launch a shot. Poke stops it well. Back again for PP. PP, one of the sort of top-rated goalkeepers in EU right now, and I think we'll see why in this game. He's very consistent, very solid goalkeeper.
Probably won't see too many fumbles in front of the net from them.
And the crazy thing is that they combined it with Hibber, who, in terms of all-time goalkeeping play, probably the best goalkeeper ever in Slapshot. In terms of his sort of all-time play, obviously, maybe other people have had better peaks. I think maybe Slider season 6 and Slap 1 is the best single season. Maybe Tobe season 5 is the best single season we've ever seen from a goalkeeper. But to be honest, maybe Lewis Howarth in season 3 of
nearly a body goal there for Rapid.
But yeah, Hibber, really solid goalkeeper, one of the best, and paired with another brilliant goalkeeper, that's a back line that is pretty incredible.
So I guess are there any teams that just end up rotating positions, like don't have a set goalie? Because you say here there are just two solid goalies. They could just rotate around if they really wanted to.
It was a bigger thing. The first team to win in rebound, Revenant, which funnily enough, two of these players, Hibber and Rapid, were on, were the only really successful team to ever do it, where they had no clear goalkeeper. They had a back line of Denny and Hibber, and up front they had Rapid and Slog, and there was not really like a clear goalkeeper. They swapped very fluidly and did very well. Since then, every team that's won has had a designated goalkeeper, and while there are other people that will help defend and sort of drop back a bit, there's never been a team that wins with
the goalie sometimes going up and scoring, right?
Yeah. But there's never been a team where they're completely evenly split that's won since Revenant. But I mean, this team, they beat probably their main challenger in their first game of the season, so certainly in a good place. I mean, it's very early in the season, you can't really tell, but it could well be changed this season with this team.
Yeah, after that first goal, things have calmed down a little bit, although Bunion's looking too tired up here at 1-1 and nearly gets it. Sumo putting it just past the post there, but an early warning shot for...
Yeah, it's very close there. I mean, I sort of expected this to be a fairly slow, fairly ground out affair. I think these are two teams. I mean, I was saying to you before the stream, as someone who remembers Slap 1, sometimes I forget how much the skill level in this game has improved. The level of players. Wait, what needs turning up? Is it me that needs turning up?
You.
Or...
It says turn up Rex,
Oh,
so
there
that's
we go.
presumably you.
There we go. A little bit more for you. Yeah, the skill level in this game has just increased by such a huge amount that I don't think you ever really got these super sort of close games where teams were so like both playing well but both just not able to score. Whereas I think the standards of defending have improved as much as the standards of attacking.
Yeah, it's very much defending. Like in pubs, just pickup games, not pickup games, but public lobbies, you just have like people knowing how to do a wraparound and passes, but
Yeah.
not knowing the first thing about defense. Because like, why would you learn how to do defending?
Yeah.
You're just playing a public lobby.
Yeah, whereas in this game you see there's like real the best teams have got really sort of structured ideas for how they're going to defend, and you can see what they're trying to do, and it's interesting to see how much that's developed because it's. I mean, I've always said the reason. I don't know if I was the first to suggest it, but I think I was certainly one of the first people to suggest that the EUSL did 4v4 instead of 3v3, and the reason I always backed 4v4 is because I love the fact that it allows teams to express themselves way more. Like the ability for a team to really have like a defined tactical identity is interesting to me. And as a caster, it's what you want. Like it's infinitely more interesting to cast if you can recognize.
Like, talk
trends.
about like people rather than just these are the 3 people on the team. Right.
And with 3 people, I mean, the amount of possibilities with a 4th person are limitless. I mean, you don't really there's so much more ideas for I don't know, tactics, structures, all that sort of stuff. It's just much more interesting to cast, and so that's one of the things I've always loved about it. And Rapid there, nice team effort by the 2 of them. Hibber puts the shot up, and Rapid puts himself sort of in the place where Poke just can't interfere with it.
So is bashing the goalie a thing that is still here? Because I haven't seen it in the 3 games.
It is very much a thing. I mean, I think it's more often a thing on rebounds because the rink is quite big. Like a good goalkeeper, I mean, the mark of a good goalkeeper is that they're very able to exploit the space, and they'll distribute the puck well enough that you really can't afford just to man mark the goalkeeper. But I mean, it is certainly still a thing. I mean, as you saw there, and the idea of crashing the net. Like if you put a puck on the net, if you have a teammate just run in there and just get involved, you can cause some chaos, and hopefully that will lead to a goal. Here's Hibber. We now play on the jumbo rink, which is slightly bigger and specifically made for 4. It's sort of 5%, 10% bigger than the normal rink, and it's specifically made for 4v4. But when we played on the regular rink, I mean, that rink was probably a tiny...
Yeah, regular rink 4v4 is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Slightly great.
I always had a thought, the regular... Oh, what a goal there!
Ooh.
Seymour chips it up in the air. Lovely finish. Long pass from Slog. Nicely worked, just ahead of Alpi. Brilliant stuff. The regular rink, I always thought was too big for 3v3 and too small for 4v4. It was kind of middle ground. Whereas this, I think, is perfect size, and it means there's just a little bit more space to work with, which I think improves the gameplay a lot.
Yeah, no, and as you were saying, with 4v4, you start to have situations where the team can be more or less than the sum of its parts. Like, you can have chemistry in 4v4 a lot more.
Yeah. I think some of the GMs hate it, because I can tell you right now, in the USL community, organising 3 players is...
Oh yeah, right.
Organising 3 players to get to a game on time is hard enough. 4, mental.
Yeah, I mean, you would think adding 33% more players, just makes it 33% harder. No, it doesn't. It makes it a lot.
Infinite.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will admit, we probably haven't helped the GMs by saying they can only play on 4 nights now. But hey,
What you do? That's it.
Chipping it up into the air, pass off the board by Hibber. No, Slog actually playing it out.
Yeah, it's actually Slog. Unfortunate pass from Slog there.
I think under pressure on the backboard, he just wasn't quite able to connect in the way he wanted. I mean, I'll tell you what, this game does bode well for the rest of this season because, like I said, Los Pollas Hermanas beat Milk Buds 3-2. We've got another really closely fought match here. It would suggest that these teams might be really nicely positioned to have a proper good battle for that title. And who knows which other teams will be able to join them in that, but it's looking good so far. Strigg launched a long one. PP saves that.
So our scoreline's 3-2, over 3 periods, the norm for most highly fought battles.
It's been getting lower. I mean, maybe somebody has. I mean, somebody should analyze the stats, and maybe I'm chatting rubbish here, but I think the scoreline has been getting lower progressively. I think as the skill level has gone up, I think people are scoring less and less. Funnily enough, I think the bigger rink slightly lowered the average score. I think partly because that extra 10% or whatever has reduced the ability of people to shoot off the boards a lot. And so you'll see, like, people used to get a lot of goals by, like...
Yeah, just round it up the board and then get an open little bit of...
goalkeeper passes down the board, somebody catches it on the board and just goes straight into a shot. And that scores way less now with the bigger rink, just because it's that slightly longer distance.
Makes it slightly harder and slightly less powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing when I played. You just pass it up to the person can maybe get a shot on target.
Yeah, I mean, I always remember that legendary Gromatos goal in the Season 4 final.
Ooh, nearly an own goal for
nearly,
Strick
very
there.
nearly. The legendary, I think it was it Hibber passing up the board, I think, in the Inferius versus Brunk. No, it wasn't Brunk. It was Inferius versus... Testing my knowledge here. Season 4. It was Brunk. Yeah, it was Brunk with Aloe, Golg, Coney, and someone else. Most of the people who are watching right now have no idea what I'm talking about, but I remember. Hibber and Seymour on the backboard, battling away for it. Hibber will play it out. And I mean, I think, like I said, these two goalkeepers at the back for Los Pollas Hermanas are so good, and it shows here, right? I barely said their names. You've barely heard us talk about PP or Hibber, and that's the mark of a good goalkeeper. If you never need to say their names, they don't make saves. They stop the shots.
Yeah, like a good goalkeeper makes the saves. A great goalkeeper doesn't stops the shot in the first, and that's nearly a kickoff goal.
Very nearly.
Right from the start.
Yeah, exactly that. Like the good goalkeepers make saves, but the best will just don't allow it to happen. And I think in Hibber and PP, you've got about as close to the best as you could possibly get. So I'm bouncing out to Alpi. Alpi round for Seymour. Back to Hibber. Hibber will take his time with it. Nice, cool and collected. Little helpful bump there from PP. That's a big part of goalkeeping. I think is often underrated. So those little bumps as your players moving around in the backboard and
a little bit of a mistake.
Was it off? I think it was.
Yeah, it was off one of the goalies there in net. It was off Seymour.
Yeah, it looks like Seymour and oh, it's actually Rapid actually played the pass in. It wasn't at Rapid on the far side of the post. Ebro, if you are able to cast, yes, and I'll produce. I think Drazi is also available, so we'll work out in between the games who's doing what. But for now, Slog on the puck. They've got a 4-1 hole to dig themselves out of, and 4 minutes to do it, and all that should have been another one. Alpi will regret that on the post. Well, I say he'll regret it. He might not regret it, but he'll certainly be annoyed he didn't score it.
Yeah, nice shots happening in the chat. A little bit of trash talk over that.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bunions HC, they just haven't been able to get the shots off. And to be honest, with a player like Slog, I'm surprised. Slog is a real good player, but I think this is what happens when you have
such a good defense.
Yeah, you've got Hibber and PP at the back, and there just hasn't really been much in the way of shots to save. You just watch them, the way they take players out of the game. And it helps as well that that Alpi and Rapid mean that those two don't push up all that much. They sit back fairly deep and can just concentrate on defending because they've got such a talented attacking duo. And that is exactly what made Revenant so good in that season so long ago. Slog and Rapid, obviously Slog now playing against Rapid, but at the time Slog and Rapid connected so well up top that they really didn't need any help. Left there for poke by Seymour. Seymour plays it in, but there's no one there for it. PP playing out again and again. It's PP just shutting down the play, and Poke has to push that one clear. Here's Alpi. Slog helping out.
Yeah, we see once again that Les Pollas and Hermanas are just keeping control of the game at this moment, just not letting Bunions get much of a puck at all, really.
And another attempt at a shot there. Yeah, I mean, and when they have had the chances, I mean, they just have not found any luck at all in the middle of the rink. They've been able to work the puck up the boards reasonably well, but whenever it gets to in front of net, There's always a player to shut it down. Here's Strig with an opportunity, maybe. Not quite.
It's not really an opportunity because he's just closed down so quickly. Doesn't have any time to
Yeah.
do anything.
Maybe the passing just needs to be a little bit more direct. Poke's going to try and do it from the long way out there and can't make that work.
Yeah, I think the only goal Bunions HC came from a very nice long pass from what was it, Strig to Seymour.
Yeah.
And it's gonna need like a good play like that. You're not gonna need any free goals over here.
Yeah, and to be honest, maybe Poke is right. Maybe just it's time to try maybe some longer shots. They really haven't tried the longer shots, but maybe they just need to try and bury a couple top corner. Right now, they're trying the plays off the board into the middle, and it's just not working. Every single time, either PP or Hibber just bat it away, and it's straight back down the other end. Here's Seymour. What can he do? Again off the board, and this time shut down completely. Really excellent defensive play. And, I mean, again, it says a lot that both times Los Pollas Hermanas have played, it's been really low scoring. And I don't think that's by chance. I think that's because, again, you've just got such incredible defensive play. They don't need to put up big numbers. Like this Bunions team just put up 8 against their previous opponent, and they've only managed 1 here. Poke, brilliant save on one.
Yeah, I mean, if you it like gives you so much confidence as like an attacker. If you just score 3 goals. We're not going to let more than 3 in.
Yeah,
just score 3 over this late. That's it.
And they're not really under any rush. Like they don't have that pressure of like we have to score here because they know
you
that
just
they're
don't let them
solid.
in. Yeah.
And like I say, they're doing enough up front. I mean, they're helping out their defenders, and that they're doing enough offensively so that Hibber and PP just need to sit back and defend. To be honest, I mean, based off these 2 games, this is looking like a really, really serious team, Los Pollas Hermanas. I think they can go far.
I would agree.
And you can see now Poke playing very far up the rink, and he's being forced to do that. Only 15 seconds left. The game is of course over, but that's how you can take advantage of that and end up with goals. I just forgot that we forgot to put the notification in the game. That is such a shame. This is a game that was really worth watching, and unfortunately, nobody knew about it.
It scores right after the buzzer, unfortunate.
Well, there we go. It didn't matter in the end, though, because they took the game, regardless of that last goal not counting, 4-1 in a really, really strong performance. I mean, we've already said it, but they just look so in control.